Ever since China's Chang'e 5 rover landed on the moon, there has been growing evidence that this celestial body is very different from what we have long imagined. Especially in its depths, the moon seems to be hiding treasures we had no idea about. The rover's shocking discoveries could change our world forever. What exactly did the rover discover deep inside the moon? Why could this discovery herald the end of climate catastrophe? Let's find out. The Chang'e 5 mission landed on the moon on December 1, 2020, after a 23-day journey through space. The two-seat probe was launched from the Wenchang Cosmodrome in China's Hainan province. The mission's goal was very clearly defined. The nearly 8-ton probe was to collect samples from the lunar surface and deliver lunar rock back to Earth for the first time in 40 years. This is the first mission in history aimed at extracting samples from the deep layers of the moon. After successful drilling, the landing module sent the samples back to its orbiter via the ascent module, and the return journey to Earth began after just 14 Earth days. The return of the samples was eagerly awaited by international researchers, and already it can be said that hopes of gaining revolutionary new knowledge about the moon have been more than realized. One of the most surprising discoveries of the mission was the presence of water. In samples of brown lunar rock, researchers from the Chinese Academy of Sciences found an unusually high density of tiny glass particles, each containing a small amount of water. These tiny glass crystals were likely formed when meteorites fell on the moon. Although each particle contains only a tiny portion of water, the mass of water deposits on the moon are enormous. Each metric ton of lunar soil contains approximately 2,000 kilograms of water under Earth-like conditions. This discovery has huge implications for future manned missions to the moon. Water from these glass particles can be easily isolated by heating, thus providing fresh water to lunar settlers anywhere on the celestial body. Chinese scientists have also demonstrated that the water encased inside the lunar crystals was once produced by the sun. Another important discovery of the mission is a new mineral containing helium-3, which is essential for nuclear fusion. If research shows that it can be used on Earth, it could mean a solution to our energy problems. Helium-3 produces no radioactive waste in nuclear fusion and releases much more energy than traditional nuclear fission methods. The discoveries of the Chang'e 5 mission could radically change our understanding of the moon and its potential for humanity. If further research confirms these findings, the moon could become a key resource for solving Earth's energy problems. This mission is another step in humanity's great space journey, and it opens new horizons for science and technology. The question of utilizing lunar resources is becoming more and more acute. The possibility of extracting helium-3 for nuclear fusion seems tempting, but this is only part of the picture. Besides water and helium-3, there may be other minerals on the moon that could play an important role in the development of technology on Earth. Given that the moon is only 3 days' flight away from us, it represents an ideal laboratory for testing technologies that could then be used on Mars and other planets. Establishing permanent bases on the moon would be the next logical step in space exploration. Lunar bases could serve as science stations, resource recycling centers, and even launch pads for long-distance space missions. Water on the moon could be used not only for drinking, but also for growing plants and making rocket fuel, which would make long-distance space travel much easier and cheaper. The development of the moon also has important economic and political aspects. The possibility of extracting rare and expensive resources could trigger a new space race. Already now, large corporations and states are showing interest in lunar resources. How will this situation develop? Will international treaties be concluded on the joint use of lunar resources, or will we witness new space conflicts? However, as interest in lunar resources grows, many ethical questions also arise. Is it worth risking the environmental integrity of the moon for the sake of resource extraction? How will this affect future generations and our perception of space? Perhaps we should think about preserving the moon as a scientific and cultural heritage site. Despite all these exciting prospects, We should not forget about the development of renewable energy sources on Earth. Solar, wind, hydroelectric, and bioenergy continue to develop and may become the backbone of our energy system in the future. The development of technologies for energy storage and processing, such as next-generation batteries and hydrogen fuel cells, also plays a key role. It should also be remembered that lunar exploration is just beginning. Future missions, such as Change 6, will continue to study the Moon and deliver new samples for analysis. These data will help us better understand the Moon's history and evolution, as well as its potential for future missions. The combined efforts of scientists and engineers from around the world can lead to revolutionary new discoveries and technologies. The Moon, our nearest space neighbor, remains a mystery and a treasure trove for humanity. The discoveries of the Change 5 mission have proven that the Moon holds many secrets and resources that could change our world. Will we use these resources wisely and responsibly? Can they help us solve global problems on Earth? These are questions to be answered in the coming decades. For now, we look forward to new discoveries and missions that will help us better understand this amazing celestial body and its potential for humanity's future. We now bid you farewell and hope this information has given you food for thought about the future of space exploration and the opportunities it offers. What do you think about the future of lunar exploration? Could it be the key to solving our energy and environmental problems? Or will renewable energy sources on Earth prove to be a more viable option? Share your thoughts and ideas. The discoveries of the Change 5 mission raise many questions about the future of space exploration and the utilization of extraterrestrial resources. The Moon, until recently thought to be a barren and dry satellite of Earth, is now proving to be a potential treasure trove of vital resources. The water found in glass particles could be used not only to support life, but also to produce fuel, greatly simplifying plans for permanent lunar bases and long-distance space missions. However, such prospects require serious thought. How will we manage these resources? Will we follow the principles of sustainable development, or will the pursuit of economic gain lead to a repetition of mistakes made on Earth? It is important to remember that the Moon is not just a source of resources, but also a unique object for scientific research that can give us clues to the history of the solar system and our planet. Exploitation of lunar resources also raises ethical and political questions. Can we afford to interfere with natural processes on the Moon? What international laws and agreements are needed to regulate the extraction and use of extraterrestrial resources? How can we prevent possible conflicts between countries and corporations in the struggle for these resources? Do you think we should see the Moon primarily as a source of resources to solve Earth's problems, or should its preservation as a scientific and cultural object be a priority? What possible consequences could the development of lunar resources have for international relations and global politics? Could it lead to a new space race or, on the contrary, to cooperation for the benefit of all mankind? The Moon opens up new horizons for us, and its exploration could lead to revolutionary changes in science and technology. It is important to approach this process with care and responsibility so that future generations can benefit from our discoveries and not face the consequences of hasty and ill-considered decisions. Exploring and developing the Moon is an exciting and complex task that requires the combined efforts of scientists, engineers, politicians, and all of humanity. Only in this way can we unlock all the mysteries of our nearest space neighbor and harness its potential for the benefit of the Earth and future generations.